Yeah, the
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Game by Show podcast. It is June the 6th, 2022. A few days into the summer, day one of summer break for my kids, at least.
oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Mine's still got a week and a half to go.
Oh, my gosh.
Weird.
Lucky you. Lucky you. My name is LeGrand Jolly this evening. No Jeremy Lamont. Again, we hope and pray that he will be back with us next week.
I think he's finally up that ladder, though.
Finally. Been climbing for days. Now he's just got to make his way back home.
He's got to do the video game slide down the ladder, you know? Like, never mind your hands after that motion.
You got to hold the sprint button so you can slide down the ladder fast.
That's right.
Yeah. Dale Jones over there. Say hi, Dale.
Hi.
And Jared. Hello, Jared.
Hey, what's up?
We're all here again. If you're tuning into the YouTube stream, you'll notice that Jared's background today is that of a battle scene with one seriously ripped dragon. So
this print came, it's a Hildebrandt set, which they have like lots of really great stuff. Go look at their gallery, the Hildebrandt brothers. But this came in the Explorers edition, i.e. the collector's edition of Ultima Online when it released.
Right. I remember seeing this art.
This guy over here, look at that. I'm actually pointing it. Look how like ripped he is. Like how many? It's like a 14 pack. Yeah. And
that 6-pack connects into something you don't want to know what it connects into.
That's right.
It's a long tail.
His grounding cord. But recently in UO Outlands, and this is all I'll talk about in Outlands, and you guys you'll be happy for this. It was the head developer's birthday, and they made him a statue of this, and it said like an unnecessarily ripped dragon being defeated by whatever. It was so funny.
Is that the avatar that he's fighting? Or
I don't know, but this guy is like, this is what I have made every RPG character I've ever played is based off this guy. Sword, shield, and like I'm just gonna stand in a dragon's face and take it.
You're the perpetual tank, huh?
Yeah, that's all I play.
Jam.
You would be playing a Crusader then in the new Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, in fact, I do have a Crusader in the new Diablo Immortal.
Whoa!
Nice. There you go.
We should get right into it. You wanna?
Yeah, we already are.
So Diablo Immortal came out. We've all played it, which is probably a Game Bytes show first, where a brand new game comes out, and
it is very rare.
We've all played the game,
sure,
to various levels of satisfaction.
So I've been playing the PC client exclusively, almost always, almost entirely with a mouse. Though I did try a gamepad for a little while to just kind of see if it worked and see how well it worked. And the answer was seemed like fine during the like running around and hitting stuff, but the menus it was like really bad. So then I just went back to
Yeah.
using mouse and keyboard for everything.
I've played almost exclusively on mobile, and I have tried out the PC client. I have played almost entirely with the Razer Kishi controller dock that you dock your phone into. And so what that allows me to do is use the analog sticks, but then use the touchscreen for menus, which is makes the menus bearable. Yes.
That's actually not terrible. So I've been also playing it on mobile, and I don't have any fancy Kishi controller thing. And I have stopped playing on mobile because it reminded me, even though the game is actually pretty good, it feels like, on-screen joysticks are awful. Nobody wants to play that crap.
They're terrible.
I'm like, no, I can't. I was like, oh, maybe this one will buck the trend. No.
I think that the aiming is good with the swiping and the targeting that way. I think that the moving around constantly with joysticks,
it's competent.
Nightmare.
It's fine. It's as good as I imagine it could be. It just sucks. Like
it does. That left thumbstick. You know they sell like weird little nubs you can put on your thumb and like try to approximate something. You know.
I have seen in our the Razer Kishi thing you're talking about was posted in our Discord by one of our excellent members, but it's pretty cool looking. I just don't know that. I mean, like, do I want to get that to play basically Diablo? Like, when am I playing this game at home? Like, where am I taking this controller?
That's the thing. I find that no matter what the game is and no matter how cool I think it will be or anything, I just don't ever end up playing games on my phone. And so that was why I was like, well, when I heard that there was going to be a PC version of this, it's like, great, I'll check it out. Maybe, I'll play it. I'll play the new Diablo because it's not only a mobile game.
Yeah. And I really didn't like the feel of it on mouse and keyboard. I'm going to be honest.
Just curious.
Oh, yeah. To me, it feels more or less the same as playing Diablo 3, just because I've set up my skills to be, like Q, W, E, R, basically the same mapping I use for Diablo 3. And then it's just, mouse clicking just like you do in that game. The major difference I would highlight between this game and Diablo 3, which I think ends up making the Diablo 3 still probably like the better experience overall, is that performance is better in that game. The performance in the PC client of Diablo Immortal seems real iffy. Like sometimes my main click will just like stop activating, like whether it's to attack enemies or to move or to like pick up stuff on the ground. Like the main click just doesn't work for a few seconds.
Well, that's a problem for a game that is all about clicking.
All about clicking, yeah. Not only that, but I find that the the point of view, like the field of view, is very, very far zoomed in on this game. And I get that. I get it. Yeah, I get it because it's a mobile game, right? I wish there was an option to zoom out some on PC, but that's kind of one question I have for this moving forward with this game is, are they going to do anything to for the PC port specifically? Are they going to do anything to let you use some of the greater capabilities you have on a PC as opposed to mobile?
It doesn't seem like. I mean, the window that when you're playing on PC, I was surprised to see it basically be an upscaled version of the mobile. It's like identical, right? Like,
font sizes are huge,
Yeah.
Like all the
little menu on the left side, the little quest menu, like takes up like half your screen.
You know what's interesting is this isn't like a new thing. You can hit Steam and find a very large number of mobile games that are just basically tossed on PC. And like, okay, and the buttons the buttons take up like half the screen. You're like, what the heck is this?
It's just I guess I expect more from Blizzard, but I don't know. Maybe
They made the game as a mobile game. Everyone
It's true.
complained, and so they decided to.
This is all true. I wouldn't, look a gift horse in the mouth. So I
Yeah.
do think it's nice to have it. The other thing that worries me about this game, and maybe it's just that. So we're 10 years on now from Diablo 3's release, right? And
It's
everybody knows
crazy.
that back when that game was released, the monetization thing with that game was going to be the auction house that lasted probably 6 months before they scrapped it and redid the whole loot system of the game and ended up improving the game vastly, right?
Yeah.
Well, the big hotness in monetization, obviously, a decade later, which is not even new anymore. It's all these like battle passes and cosmetic upgrades, and you can buy alternate currencies to progress on like a separate track, even apart from your XP or your gear score or whatever. This game has these like gems, right? These like legendary gems that
That is the end game, is the gems, effectively.
yeah, and apparently there's been some stories that have come out, and I don't know the veracity on these, but what they're saying is that there are some of these gems, it's like impossible to get through playing the game. Like you can only get them through pay, well, quote
So,
unquote,
so
pay
I've
win
looked
system.
into it. I looked into it a bit, and so
Okay.
basically, there's legendary gems, there's normal gems, legendary. So the end game of this is rifts, the same as Diablo 3,
Same as
right?
3, yeah.
Except for that, what you get at the end of the rift is a chance for a gem to drop. Now, these legendary gems, the chance for it to drop is very, very, very low,
Right.
unless you buy one of these premium currency, whatever they call them, shards, I guess, or
Boosts.
whatever, and you stick them in the rift, and then it makes it so that you are guaranteed to get a legendary gem drop. Now,
So it goes
free,
from low chance to guarantee.
I believe so, and
Wow,
free to play
okay.
players will get 3 of these things per
A year.
month, effectively, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to take thousands and thousands of them to like max out a character, I guess, is what
Right.
people have done the math on. Because not only do you have to get the legendary gem that you want, which by the way, there are hundreds of different types,
Yeah.
you have to then merge them or do something weird to make them
It's the
be better,
pyramid
like
scheme
level
thing
them up.
where you
Yep.
need like 16 in order to make 8, in order to make 4, to make 2,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's that whole thing.
So getting the one that you want multiple times is going to take thousands of runs. Which, by the way, if you want to do it free to play, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
You'll bore out of this game way before you
Heat
do
death
that,
of the
you know?
universe we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that really bothers me because I'm not. Who really wants to like totally max out a Diablo character anyway, right? I mean, even on 2 or 3, you could spend lifetimes trying to do that, right?
Right.
But the part that does bother me though is just the like insane proliferation of like systems and reward tracks, because what this game does that is a little bit helpful is like it'll put a little gem icon, like a badge, on any sort of like menu interface thing that you need to click into to harvest your rewards for your quests that you've done or whatever. And
Yeah.
you end up clicking through to like 12 different screens of the menu to harvest your daily rewards. And it's just like, man, you got to go first. You got to go to the codex, then you got to go to the daily things, then you got to go over here to
Well,
the other place where you
I've
can.
got news for you, Dale. If you haven't played a lot of mobile games, that is
Yeah,
all
and I
mobile
tend not
games.
to. They're kind of a disaster when it comes to
It's a nightmare.
confusing
It's
UI.
horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. They're all like that, and they all suck. They all suck in that regard. Now, talking about the gameplay itself, like I think the game is very fun to play. Like I'm having a blast just playing
It's
it.
very solid. It feels good. It feels like Diablo
Yeah.
3. It's got like a good running around. It's got good impactful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing a barbarian, and like when he hits
Yeah.
dudes, it
I'm
feels
playing the
good to use the
necromancer.
skills.
Playing the
Jared's got the
Crusader.
Crusader, of course.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I find myself thinking that I'm going to play through the game, the story, and just not engage with the end game because
I don't know if I
whatever,
will
you know.
complete the story because the writing and I mean I guess the acting is fine, but the writing and the plot, it just is like just so like bathwater, dishwater.
But
you
yeah,
know what
well,
I mean?
and
It's just
that's
like,
but that's not the
yeah.
drive. I mean that wasn't the driver behind Diablo 3 either. Like the drive
No.
was leveling up your dude and
You're
seeing
right.
the bosses. The bosses were cool, regardless of what you thought of the story in Diablo 3.
You're completely right. It's just every time I'm forced to click through like 3 or 4 word bubbles where it's just like yada yada yada, go and do this. We got to go get those things. Go and kill that. And it's just like,
So
Yeah.
I've got a particular beef with the whole Diablo franchise. There are like 8 people in that whole world.
Deckard
Like,
Cain
I
shows up
swear,
again.
all you do is talk with this one
Leoric.
Deckard Cain,
Yeah,
and like
Leoric again.
the town
Charcy.
has like 4 people, and that's it. Every game, they're all the same people. It's like they built this world and then didn't fill it with people.
And here's the roguey guy, and here's the wizard
Here's the
person,
druid.
and here's the blacksmith
like,
man. And
you guys know you can create like characters, right? Like, I don't know. It's really weird.
So Deckard Cain back, and spoilers: Deckard Cain dies in Diablo 3. So
Oh my
this must be a Diablo 2, Diablo 3 bridge, I guess.
It's in between 2 and 3.
Okay,
I looked it up.
Wow.
All right, you're into it. You read the novelization already.
Deep lore.
No, I haven't yet. No, I gave up on Blizzard lore when I realized it was all just
It's
like
a bunch of baloney.
it is all just a bunch of baloney. It's like that book in the Bible where it's like so and so begat so and so begat so and so begat so and so.
Sounds about right.
That's really all it is when you start to read like World of Warcraft lore or Diablo lore. It's just like it's all just an excuse to have a video game, which the video games are good. So I mean, they're fun. I'll play them.
Cool. Well, I'm glad we're all playing it. I think that as long as you don't engage with the monetization, I did spend $5 on the Battle Pass. I want to see what that was all about.
Didn't even get that.
I have like $1.40 something cents Blizzard credit, so I've toyed with the idea of like the 99
I have
cent
Blizzard
purchase.
credit. I have $60 of Blizzard from selling my WoW gold before I quit that game.
Oh, well, there you go. That's all your battle passes from here on out.
That's my Diablo 4 money. I'm saving it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the thing is that this almost more than anything, it's just made me, more excited to play Diablo 4 to see how that
100%.
Comes out,
100%. It's almost made me want to just open up Diablo 3 again, but I'm like, no, I can't do that.
That's kind of where I'm at also. It's like compare and contrast. Like, Diablo 3 really is good. Maybe it's better.
Yeah, I haven't really played a lot of the Wizard. I never really got into this character,
I love the Wizard. Wizard's so good.
Wizard's like I played Wizard hardcore. My biggest farthest Wizard I got was hardcore. When she died, it was a sad day. I died to Asmodan, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, not Asmodan. It was Belial.
Belial was the worst boss in that whole game.
Yeah, that's the one I died to.
Such a cheese ball. I hate him.
Yeah, he sucked a lot. Those little explosions at the end, that's what killed me. I got him probably... Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's how I lost my biggest hardcore character in Diablo 3 was to Belial.
Stupid Belial.
That's funny.
Ugh.
Right, anyway.
At the end.
So I've got a new game I've been playing outside of... I haven't played... Honestly, I've played maybe a couple hours of Diablo Immortal. Maybe it's the first game that I will actually complete on the toilet. I don't know.
So here's a quick update. I've played probably, I don't know, like maybe 4 hours of it. I think my character's about like level 30-ish.
Yeah, I'm like 28,
bunch of
27 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. We'll see where I'm at next week if I even keep... I don't know. Who knows? I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure I will, but it was fun to check out.
Sure. So I've been playing a game. The handheld renaissance continues with a new game this week. I have been playing the hell out of Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. This is a DS game.
Yeah.
I'm playing it on the 2DS. And this is a game that was released on the PSP as well as the DS, the original, not 3D DS, a long time ago. And I remember that
2006 or something.
Yeah, it was forever ago. I remember when it came out and I was like, man, this game looks pretty cool. And I remember reading reviews and I just, wasn't in the position where I could just pull the trigger on it. And so when I got into this mode, I'm like, that's a game. I was kind of looking up like, what are the best DS games? What are the highest rated games I had missed out on or whatever? And this game came, has extremely high reviews and people seem to love it. So I picked it up and I'm probably 5 or 6 hours into it and I absolutely love it. It's so good. It's like it's a top-down view GTA game. So
like
not unlike, and I played GTA 2, but I don't remember any of it. I honestly don't recall anything about it. This was like, what, 25 years ago at this point?
Yeah, it'd be way a long time ago, yeah.
So this game is a top-down GTA. And so you think that by automatically having that, you kind of lose out on what makes GTA, right?
Right.
And so when you think GTA, Dale, what is the first thing that comes to your mind about GTA?
Open world, running around, 3D environments.
Okay, this has got that, but in 2D. It's got driving a lot. It's got taking cars. It's got star wanted levels, and it also has the rock star humor and dialogue and characters.
Soundtrack.
Soundtrack's good. Soundtrack's solid. It's got radio stations. Sounds good. I don't think I've heard any licensed music, which is fine. But a lot of good music regardless. And you can switch between the different tracks, and in classic GTA fashion, what kind of car you pick up kind of determines what radio station you kind of start on,
Right.
So if you pick up the old lady car, like that's kind of slower, you're going to be on some old timey station. It's kind of funny that way. But this game basically follows a rich kid who is a son of a gangster, a crime boss for the Triad, and his father was killed, and he's basically out for revenge. And he ends up in Liberty City and starts getting in with the bosses. He meets up with his uncle, who is a crime lord in the city, and you start just like doing odd jobs, just trying to find your dad's killer and trying to solve that case, right? In the meantime, you meet up with all these different crime bosses of different types. You have the weird, like, random characters you run into on the side of the street that have like weird side quests, like really strange side quests. Like I came across this lady and she was like, "Hey, can you give me a ride home? Like I'm staying at this hotel with this guy I met online." And you're like, "Okay." So you drive her home and you drop her off. She's like, "Okay, well, I'll see you next week when you take me out to dinner." And you're like, what are you talking about, crazy lady? And so that's like the end of that quest. And then I ran into her later, and I went to go talk to her, and she's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And she started like chasing me. And the quest was like, get away from this crazy woman. And so I got into a car and drove off as she's running down the street chasing after me. So it's got like that classic, like crazy GTA feel. But all the gameplay is top down. So driving's top down. It takes a kind of a while to kind of get used to the driving, because it definitely is not, it's not like a 3D driving game. It's a little bit different. So
driving is weird.
Yeah, everything is very it's very loose and liberal with the way that the cops, like if you bump into a cop in any other GTA game, like they go off the handle, right? They're on you. In this case, if you accidentally sideswipe a cop, they don't care. As long as you don't hit them head on or bump them from behind, like you're okay. So because it knows that the driving is not spot on,
is
right?
Flimsy at best.
Yeah. And that's okay, because you actually, since I've been playing it, for 4 or 5 hours, like I've gotten the hang of it, and I know what kind of cars I like. I know which kind handle really well. I know where you get that balance between handling and speed. It feels good. It's starting to be fun that way. Like I don't mind the driving so much as I did when I first started. I was like, oh my gosh, like am I going to be able to even play this at all? And the answer is yes, after I got used to it. The other aspect is in GTA games, usually when you get a star in the 3D, when you get your wanted level or whatever, you have to outrun the cops and get out of like a sphere of like influences or whatever you want to call it, right? There's like a little zone you need to make your way out of and get away from the cops. In this game, the cops keep bugging you until you basically destroy multiples of their cars. And so for every star level that you have to destroy that many cop cars to get down to the lower one and get down to the lower one. And then, of course, as you get more wanted levels, then they send, SWAT team to you and helicopters and everything else. And of course, it's all in 2D. It's great. There's boat driving around. There's police boats that have rocket launchers on them that you can drive around and raise hell with. There's quests to, do stuff with that. And, so it's an extremely well put together Grand Theft Auto game in 2D, and I'm surprised at how actually good it is. Like it captures that GTA feel, which is really cool. But the main star of the show, which is the part I really want to, maybe not the main star, but one of the biggest, I'm not gonna say features, but one of the main things that you do in the game is the drug trade. I don't know if you guys have heard of this game. Basically, as you're running around the world, you come across drug dealers, and a big point of the game is to build out your wealth and to buy houses around the city, like you do in GTA. And so you are buying low from this guy's selling weed, this guy's selling cocaine, this guy's selling heroin. They're all members of different, organizations, and This is where the Jamaicans are, and of course they sell the weed. And here's the guys from the Spanish mafia, and here's these guys. And so you pick up like heroin at this guy, then take it across the city to this other dealer, and you basically trade drugs around the city. And you buy low and sell high. And sometimes you'll get an email in your email that says, "Hey, man, like you're one of my best buyers. I got a smoking deal on some cocaine over here." And so you'll burn your ass over there, buy cocaine from him. And then sometimes you'll get a call from some guys like, "Hey, these college kids over here really want some weed. We're paying top dollar for it. So bring your weed over here." And you'll find weed. You'll find the stuff you have stashed in at your safe house, or you'll go find go find the Jamaicans and buy some weed, take it down to the frat boys, and make some extra cash. So there's this whole system around drug trading, which is like the main source of economy in the game is this. Like you get a little bit of money off of missions, but the way that you're making money in this game is buying and selling drugs to other dealers, which
arbitrage.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's kind of like a side thing. I don't think it's really even required. It is nice to have multiple safe houses around the city and that's what you need the money for, basically, is to buy safe houses. So I've been kind of engaging in that a lot, just because it's kind of fun to watch that money ticker go up. And so sometimes you'll go in and like the different levels of drugs some will cost more. And every time that you go and buy drugs, there's a chance that the cops will swoop in and bust your drug deal. So then you got to get away from them. And so when you go into like a place, you need to buy some heroin, which is the most expensive drug in the game, or some acid or some cocaine. And you just drop $10,000 buying, several kilos of whatever. And the cops swoop in, like your money's spent. And if the cops actually stop and bust you, then you just basically lost all that money and all those drugs. So it's this really interesting gameplay mechanic, which isn't necessarily required, but it is kind of fun to kind of engage with. And I've been doing a bit of that as well. So anyway, handheld renaissance continuing with GTA Chinatown Wars. It's a great game. If you have the opportunity to play it, I would recommend. I think the only way to get a hold of it is to buy a copy on eBay, which they're about $20.
Yeah, there's probably no digital version of this, is there?
No, I mean,
is there maybe on Steam?
Gone.
I think there might be one on Steam.
Oh, is there on Steam? Dude, I don't know.
I want to say
be true.
I think maybe.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
I'm not sure.
Nope. Not on Steam.
No? Really? Huh.
No.
Garbage game.
Well, it might be on the Rockstar stupid launcher or whatever.
Oh, there you go. Grand Theft Auto 1 is on Steam, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it is not for sale, though. What the hell?
I think you buy it in a bundle.
Yeah, it probably comes with something else.
And then it installs separately. Yep.
I thought there was a PC version of Chinatown Wars, but maybe not.
That would be cool because it's a very good game. So anyway, that's what I've been playing a lot of. I got Nintendo finger from playing it, so that's
Nintendo finger. So I actually haven't been playing a ton of new games. I did pick one up and started to check it out, called Hellish Court. And it is as Jared of a game as it comes. It is a physics-based 3D sword fighting game. And so it's like, I don't know, designed with like modern fencing and historical fencing mechanics and ragdolls and in some cases gratuitous blood effects, and that's what the game is. So it has, a couple of modes. You can fight against the AI, which is okay. It has local co-op, unfortunately, or multiplayer. Unfortunately, it does not have online multiplayer at this time. But it's pretty cool. There's different characters have different styles, right? Like you've got say 17th century saber or longsword. There's all kinds of different stuff. There's like a HEMA mode, so you can actually basically dress up in your character in what is effectively like modern fencing gear and kind of go at it if you want it to feel less old timey. But it's really well done. Like the moves, like
the animation looks awesome in this game.
Yeah, it's really, really well done. And
gosh,
just in general on how it feels when you're playing it. some of these sword fighting games, I don't know. I've been kind of into them for a while, and some of them are pretty funky and take a ton of learning curve to get over. But this one feels pretty natural. So
these killing blows in this game, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah.
Wow. So is the different fighting styles tied to like the different characters? Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yes. So certain characters fight in certain styles. So they're like thematic for their time period and their region, right? And yeah, it's just great. I mean, that's all it is, and it's just really good at what it is. So I've been enjoying a bunch of it, just jumping in and basically fighting out against AI, really trying to learn the controls. You don't really start to feel good in games like this until you like can start to counter and attack.
Are you playing with a controller or are you using mouse and keyboard on this thing?
So I started with mouse and keyboard, and let me tell you, that is not the way.
Controller?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it would be.
No, it
this kind of looks like Bushido Blade.
It works. It is not good. So, but yeah, it has full controller support. I guess I'm looking here. It says on Steam it has remote play together. I don't know how well that works in terms of latency, right? With a fighting game like this, but I guess you could try that and do local, like not local co-op, but or not co-op, but versus.
Dude, this game looks so cool.
But it's neat. It was like it's I guess $17 on Steam right now. I think I picked it up. It was like 10 or 15% off or something when I picked it up. But
okay,
what does the name? What does the name mean?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
Hellish Court.
Yeah, I don't know.
Awesome.
But yeah, Hellish Court, pretty cool. The other thing I kind of listed here is so as an early Father's Day gift, I got the Games Workshop's Battle of Pelennor Fields. It's the kind of the beginner box
tabletop
set.
miniatures game.
Yeah, for the Middle Earth tabletop miniatures that Games Workshop does. Yeah. So I'm actually super stoked. I'm like prepping myself to like start painting, and it's a pretty serious set. It comes with like the Nazgul and a bunch of Rohan riders of Rohan and stuff. So
yep.
It's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. But I'll report in. I know Dale, this would have piqued his interest, so I saw his ears go up. But yeah, we'll report in as I make progress.
What color are you gonna prime them? Do you spray prime everything?
I haven't decided. I mean, so there's a couple of different models. Like the ghosts are kind of like a ghostly green, so I'll probably go light on them. The Rohan's kind of brownish, like a dark green, so I was probably going to do a single just base coat of those. But there's also lots of horses. I mean, they're kind of they feel, at least to me, kind of complicated sets to paint. So I have to pick them off one at a time.
Mean, it's no joke painting a bunch of miniatures, man.
So it did get me back into painting my BattleTech miniatures, which I got about halfway through the Game of Armored Combat. So I picked that back up because I like that one's BattleTech's funny because it's like it's a little bit more like probably like Space Marines, right? Where it's like they have very like defined colors, right? Like the armor is on mine. It's like this like metal blue. And it's got this bright orange accent with like a light gray like tertiary accent, right? So, and then you got, of course, like black and silvers for various things that should, like gun barrels and stuff like that. But
this set is like all organic stuff, basically.
Yes, that is the difference for me. So I'm like, okay, let me finish doing the BattleTech stuff. I've got the stuff for it. Let me finish it. Get back in the mode of like delicate movements, So, So anyway, it's I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
You even got the guy writing the Witch King of Angmar.
Yeah,
right?
on the Fell Beast. Yeah, it's gonna be nutty. It's got a troll, Oleg High or whatever, and a bunch of orcs. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I've seen some of the newer Middle Earth miniatures, especially like the Easterlings and the like. Well, I don't forget what they call it, but like the Eastern Emperor or something like that. Like those are some pretty cool ones.
They had at the store when I was there, they had the Oliphant, which is like a massive elephant. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got for this week. News,
nice.
New releases. Sorry, not news, but new releases, deals, blah, blah, blah. Tech-gaming.com is where we get our list. Not much this week, but there are two big hitters. So Diablo Immortal, we talked about quite a bit in length earlier. The other one that made it to our list here is the Elder Scrolls Online High Isle expansion, which is Breton, I believe, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so those expansions are always pretty good. I love that they allow you to kind of jump in right there, as opposed to Guild Wars 2, where you feel like you have to start back at the beginning. So yeah.
Yeah, you get done with the tutorial in Elder Scrolls, and it says, "Cool, now which expansion that you own do you want to play in?
Where do you want to go?" And the story, it's like I they're all kind of interlinked, but they're not so interlinked that you have to start in one place. It's a really smart way they did it. So anyway, those two are out there. Definitely worth checking out. Leaked new Destiny guns allegedly.com/probably. Gigapocalypse, which have we checked? This might actually be a gun in Destiny.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. This is the multiple launch rocket system.
Yeah,
shoulder mounted.
Great.
You know.
Yeah.
My lovely wife.
Sniper rifle, I think.
Yeah. Could be.
It's one that you have to spend. You have to spend hours, like 100+ hours grinding for this one gun.
It's out of the Black Armory.
It's the only way to get it.
Repentant.
Yeah.
Moonrise.
And 100% a hand cannon. 100%.
Yeah. Moonrise Fall. Moonrise. It's a fusion
rifle.
Yeah, it's like,
okay, there we go.
Yeah,
fusion
you know the one where you have to like charge it or whatever. Gosh. Yeah. And Surface Rush, which is a submachine gun that just spits out.
Yeah. Kind of pulse rifle or something, maybe.
All right. Deals and freebies. The big freebie I have listed here. If you're on the live stream, this is probably relevant. If you're not, this is probably in the past. But there is currently a GOG summer sale, and the game Sanitarium is free, I believe, just through like for a day. So head over to GOG.com, see if it's still free, and grab it if it is. If not, you're probably not missing much.
It's probably great.
It's probably great, but it's old. So like, I don't know. Are you really gonna sit down and play it?
I'm playing freaking GTA.
You're not Jeremy.
On DS. All right. Well, I've got some news we're going to burn through here really quick. A couple major events happened, I guess. First of all, just the Sony State of Play happened, and they had a lot of announcements. I was told by somebody that the announcements weren't very good, and I did not watch this live. And now looking at the list, I think these announcements are very good, and I think there's a lot of stuff that came out.
Well, what do we got?
First of all, Resident Evil 4 is getting a remake. This is the remake, not remaster like we're used to with Resident Evil 4. This is like the full RE2 and RE3 remakes of the game, which is very cool. Those games were very well received and very well done. I did play through Resident Evil 2 remake, so that'll be coming next year, March 2023. Also, Spider-Man. This is the PS4 exclusive Spider-Man, and PS5 is now coming to PC. So this is the full remastered version with all the ray tracing effects and all that stuff. So that's coming to PC, which is great. That's good to see because that makes it seem like even more Sony games will be making their way to PC, which is great for PC gamers. They did show another announcement trailer, even though we already knew about it. Horizon Call of the Mountain. This is the VR Horizon Zero Dawn game. That's going to be on the PSVR 2. Looks pretty cool. Callisto Protocol had a neat trailer. This is a horror game coming out, so if you're into horror, check that out. Final Fantasy 16. This might be my most anticipated game out of this list. Trailer looks awesome. Showcase combat, showcase a lot of cutscenes, some of the story and dialogue and stuff like that. Looks fantastic. This, as of right now, is slated for summer of 2023, which means we can probably expect February 2024 is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But that game looks really cool. It seems like a big focus on the summons, or the primals, or the eidolons, or the icons, or whatever you want to call them from whatever game you care about. Yeah, it seems like a big focus on that, and the combat seemed action oriented, very similar to like even more than Final Fantasy 15. It seemed like it was
like
a
a Lightning Returns or something.
Right, there you go. Yeah, something like that, which is fine. Like I'm all about it. And I think they'll still retain that Final Fantasy feel. They've managed to do that over the years. Street Fighter 6 got a bunch of stuff too. So if you're a fighting game fan, which, well, I am one of those, that's some stuff that's coming out for that, Street Fighter 6. And then they had a bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to talk about. But go look up there's lots of other trailers for smaller games and other indie studios. Nothing really stood out for me. Tunic is coming to Sony, PlayStation, like whatever. Don't really care. Another big announcement, Resident Evil Village is getting VR support as well on the PlayStation VR 2. This is what I wished. It seems like, that was when I bought my PlayStation VR, was to play Resident Evil 7.
7, yeah.
And I wish that Resident Evil Village was on VR to begin with, because I would have super played it. But it seems like they wanted that higher fidelity PSVR 2 to run that game, and maybe they needed it. I don't know. Yeah, I look forward to that. I will play through that game again, and I'm hoping that if I already have a copy of Resident Evil Village on the PlayStation 5, which I do, that I will be able to just play it in VR when it comes out. So hoping that will happen.
Cool.
Also, was there a Warhammer event, Dale, or was it?
There was. Yeah, there's.
I know there was a ton of Warhammer announcements, and I didn't necessarily know what the source was, or if it was just, well, guys, they've licensed out the property to about 30 other studios, and they're all making games.
The tech priests prayed, and the cogitators produced.
That's right. Yeah. No. Recently, they've been doing this like pretty much annually. They're just calling it like the Warhammer Skulls Fest. It was sometimes called Skulls for the Skull Throne.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically like their like annual or like seasonal collection of like new Warhammer video game announcements, right?
Just put on by Games Workshop, or who is putting this together?
I think they might like sort of coordinate it. And then they, it's just they're showing like previews of like all the upcoming licensed games that are coming out, right? And so like sort of the highest profile ones out there at the moment are Space Marine 2, which that sequel was announced a while ago, finally, to much acclaim, because that first Space Marine game from like 2008 or 9 or whatever, like that game's awesome.
The game was really good. That was
pretty great.
A Relic game. That was
you're right.
Good game.
Yeah. It was one of their few like action adventure.
It was like
games.
It before.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What was the name of the main character in Space Marine 1?
Titus, Captain Titus.
No, it was Space Marine. Space Marine.
Yeah,
come out and fight me, Space Marine. That's all I remember.
So the another one that's been on the horizon for a little while is Dark Tide. So that's it's the people that do Vermintide, and they're doing it in 40K this time, basically with like the appropriate character types mapped onto that and everything. And that looks really cool too. They showed some new stuff there.
That'll be fun because it'll be like guns, right? Like the other one was more melee focused. Vermintide was all melee focused.
It was, and I was actually talking to a friend of mine earlier. I was like, man, we still haven't played much Vermintide 2. And I'm like, because we're talking about Dark Tide, I'm like, these like co-op survival games that, like the Left 4 Dead styles are so much better with guns. Like they just feel better when you're playing them. And it's just because I love Vermintide 2, but I'm like,
it's good. It's really good.
This one, I have really high hopes for this one. I know I talked about it. My prediction for like last year was that this one might come out and be, like finally a game of the year contender. That's a 40K game. I still think this could be it when it does come out this year, hopefully. But another thing that was just announced, just shown for the first time the other day at this like Skulls stream thing, was what they're calling the first CRPG, like computer style RPG in the style of like Baldur's Gate or whatever, set in Warhammer in the 40K universe, and it's called Rogue Trader.
Ooh.
And basically, I think what this kind of looks like is something I've really wanted for a really long time, which is kind of like a BioWare style RPG, but where you're in. So in 40K, there's a couple of factions where this sort of analogous to like a Commander Shepard, like a Spectre sort of thing. And one of them is the Inquisition. You can be an Inquisitor and have like your roving band of people helping you out. And the other is the Rogue Trader, which is basically what you are is um, it's like a hereditary office of like you have like this writ of trade where you can go like throughout the galaxy and conduct business with like all the different planets and even some of the like alien species, right?
Mm-hmm.
And typically these rogue traders, because they're out there like on the fringes dealing with all these like xeno species and everything, they have this like crazy technology that is like banned everywhere else in the Imperium, and they have like all these like hive of scum and villainy style like relationships and hookups with people and all around and stuff. It's just a really cool sort of milieu, right? And then the images for this game, there shows like there's a space wolf. There's a space marine of the Space Wolves chapter like helping out the rogue trader. Then there's bound to be like some cool assassins and who knows what else, right? And it really stands to be like a very cool like galactic adventure slash RPG sort of thing, which could be really cool.
So if people want an idea of what I think this game will play, just like it's actually developed by Owlcat Games, which
the Pathfinder
game, right? Kingmaker, and Wrath of the Righteous. Wrath of the Righteous, I think.
Those sound like some
recently.
Jared games.
They are
solid,
they
right?
are very like Baldur's Gate style of RPG, and they are really good. I mean, they are very good. So I'm very excited for this. I'm like looking at the webpage right now, and it's like, yes.
I think they might tap into for this is there is actually a tabletop role playing game, Rogue Trader, where it's like there's like a ton of source books that they could delve through for
Absolutely.
like lots of background and stuff. Maybe even as some of the inspiration for some of their like I don't know.
Is there another world on the planet like IP that has been fleshed out as much as Warhammer? Has as much content and stories?
Almost maybe not. I mean, you could probably say like Star Wars or something, but I think 40K could give almost anything a run for its money because there's
probably so
a lot to it. So in addition to that one, which looks really good, a couple of other fun looking things. There's one out there that's called Shoota's Blood and Teeth. And this is a game where you play as an orc or a bunch of orcs, and it's in the style of like Shank or like one of those like side-scrolling animated.
It does look like games. Shank, yeah. It's a good
it looks like Shank. Then there's Bolt Gun, which is basically like Doom, but you're like a 40K Space Marine,
like old Doom.
Yeah, like Doom, like the 1993 Doom, not Doom 2016, not even Quake, Doom. And that looks really cool. It looks like retro graphics and stuff. There is real quick. I'll do the rest of the other ones here before I hand it over to Jared. But there's Warp Forge, which is going to be a CCG, a digital CCG, that is made by the same people that have made the one that I like called the Horus Heresy Legions. And it looks like it's basically kind of a recreation of that game, but it's 40K instead of 30K, which is the Horus Heresy. And then they've also put out a expansion for the Horus Heresy game where you can play as Battle Titans. So now the big thing here, the other thing for Total War Warhammer 3 is this Immortal Empires campaign. So Jared, tell us, what is that?
So Immortal Empires it's in the previous game, Total War Warhammer 2. And effectively what it does is if you own both games, you can play factions from the previous game in Total War Warhammer 3. But it's more of a sort of classic Total War.
4X.
Yeah, Total War. Like if you think about like Total War Medieval 2, how you played those campaigns and won, it was they were global conquest was kind of the goal.
Right.
It's more of that. So the Total War Warhammer series was really cool because it had like these really detailed and kind of fleshed out quests. Like each faction had different things it had to do based on the mechanics and the
Yeah,
the
very
style of that
thematic
faction.
goals.
Right.
Yeah.
But this kind of tosses that out the window and says, actually, you're just at war with everybody. Have fun. So the idea of being able to eventually run down the Empire of Grand Cathay with my Grail Knights just sounds great. So yeah, I'm
We would
excited
have
about
Grail
it.
Knights.
Heck yeah, I always play Britannia. But no, it's a really I'm really excited about the mode. I believe it's scheduled to come out in beta this fall, so not anytime immediate.
Plenty of time to
but,
catch up on your
right.
Total War Warhammer 3 skills, which I really need to.
Plenty of time to go read this book that I have. It's backwards,
you got
but
that
Bretonnian.
fickle
The omnibus, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, so that's going to be exciting.
Well, that does it for the Warhammer update.
That's all the Warhammer update. That's all the main news that we have actually for the show. We have a few speedrun items here, so we'll jump right into those. First off, yeah, you guys don't have to make all the music because I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not putting in music like Jeremy does. You'll have to wait till next week. Xbox and Bethesda are hosting an extended game showcase on June 14th. Starfield, probably big things.
I thought you said Garfield for a second. I was like,
Garfield would be good.
Starfield, Dragon Age, whatever. Which
Dreadwolf
is the next item.
That's kind of a badass title, Dreadwolf. I don't know what it refers to, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. World of Warcraft adds undead elf options.
What? Wait, what? Huh?
I don't know. World of Warcraft adds undead elf.
There was no way to do that before?
I guess not.
You had like night elves and blood elves.
Well, you could be undead, but they were all just like skeleton people.
Humans. They were all humans.
Yeah.
Human undead. And now you could be an undead elf.
But I want to be an undead troll or an undead orc.
Why did it take them this long to add that?
Well, subscribers are dwindling, and that's the one thing that's going to bring back 10 people. And here's, so
same reason it took them this long to make it so that you could play the Horde versus Alliance together.
Sylvanas
I still don't agree with that change, but
Isn't Sylvanas already like an undead elf?
They are like not
yes,
undead,
but you can't be an undead elf.
But she could be an undead elf. But she
is an undead elf.
I don't know.
All right, well, whatever.
Go read those lore books you got hanging around, Dale.
Undertale's Toby Fox composed the music for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
That's pretty cool.
Fun
good
fact.
Music. Diablo Immortal will not launch in Netherlands or Belgium, likely due to loot box laws.
Does it have random drop loot boxes? I haven't bought a single thing yet, so I don't.
Neither have I. I mean, just except for the battle pass. I guess so. I mean, maybe it's the fact that the legendary gems are random. I don't know. The rewards are random from plugging in that premium currency into the whatever. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Tim Sweeney says Fortnite token cryptocurrency is a scam.
V-Bucks?
That's so awesome. I hope somebody made money off of the Fortnite cryptocurrency.
The Steam Deck's docking station has been delayed indefinitely. This is an unfortunate thing. Parts shortages and COVID closures. I in my professional capacity, I work for a manufacturing company, and let me tell you that the COVID supply chain chaos is real.
Yeah, it sucks getting stuff right now. And one thing important to note for our listeners is indefinitely doesn't mean they canceled it forever. We're never doing it. It means we're canceling it.
We don't know.
We don't know until when.
Yeah,
that's what indefinitely typically means.
Can you still plug the Steam Deck into like a USB-C and plug it into like a TV? Or
yeah,
I was gonna say, does either of you have a Steam Deck?
I don't. I'm on the list, but I'm pretty certain it's just a PC. Like you can. That was the whole thing they were pushing on is like you can do whatever you want with this. Install Windows on it if you want.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Finally, Kingdom Hearts co-creator Shinji Hashimoto has retired after 28 years with Square Enix.
God.
Finally, we'll get some.
Does that mean they can
normal Disney Square crossovers? We'll get new ones of those. And that's it. That's all the new speedrun. Yeah. And that's all for our show today. We kept it under 30 minutes just for you because we knew y'all wanted to get to bed early tonight. We did it. We did it hard.
Your commute is only 30 minutes long. So this podcast is only 30 minutes long.
That's right. That's why we planned it this way.
And now I'm going to read this entire book.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for stopping in by the YouTube stream and the channel. You can watch the VOD there after this.
Bye, Jeremy.
Fun for the
chat.
Whole family. Fun for the whole family.
Jeremy,
make sure you go to our website, gamebyteshow.com. Join our Discord channel. Come hang out.
Ripped dragons in the background.
That's right. Follow us on Twitter. Do all those things. You guys have any words of wisdom you'd like to impart on the masses before we leave? Dale, go.
Yeah, be sure to take your trash out when it's time.
Oh, trash day is tomorrow for me.
Don't forget trash day is what I'm saying.
Wednesday is mine. That's in 2 days. Mm-hmm. And Jared, what's your any words of wisdom?
You know what?
For our friends at home.
Yeah, just tell your family you love them today. Just because.
Wow. I like that.
That's good. Wholesome.
Sounds great. Yeah, we don't get very much of that anymore, especially on this podcast.
Just a good
we're
trick.
Very wholesome.
Butter your bread before you toast it.
Oh, my son does that. He actually will toast it for like a little bit just to warm it up, and then he'll butter it, and then he puts it back in.
Yeah, that's
another good buttering trick is you can butter your bun and call yourself a biscuit.
I'll be right back. That's all for the show. We'll see you guys next time. Catch you later. Bye.
Jared, don't butter my bun and call me a biscuit.
Too late.
You can butter my bun anytime you want.
It's the next Warhammer game.